You're not poor because you're unlucky, you're poor because someone taught you to think small. Let me start with something harsh. Most people aren't poor because of bad luck. They're poor because of how they think. Not their parents. Not their boss. Not the economy. Not fate. It's their mindset, the way they view money, work, risk, effort, and themselves. You can give two people the same $100. One will invest it, multiply it, protect it. The other will spend it, waste it, and complain when it's gone. Same money. Different brain. This is where wealth begins, not in the bank, but in the mind. Let's talk about it. The first psychological trap is simple. Poor people fall in love with comfort. They chase the feeling of right now. A meal delivered instantly. A gadget they don't need. A vacation they can't afford. A dopamine hit every few minutes. They think the goal is to feel good. But wealth is built by people who are willing to feel bad today to feel powerful tomorrow. The rich delay gratification. The poor worship it. You've seen this. A guy who earns $200 and spends $180 because, I worked hard, I deserve it. He buys sneakers to impress people who don't care. He goes out every weekend because life is short. He lives paycheck to paycheck while pretending he's okay. Comfort kills urgency. It tells you there's no reason to push harder. And when urgency dies, ambition follows. But the wealthy? They understand a brutal truth. Money never grows in comfort. It grows in discomfort, in sacrifice, in patience, in learning new skills, in saying no, in waiting when everyone else is celebrating. That's why the rich seem disciplined. They're not superhuman. They simply know that comfort is expensive. The second psychological trap. Poor people think like consumers. The wealthy think like investors. Watch this carefully. When poor people get money, they ask, how can I spend this? When wealthy people get money, they ask, how can I make this grow? Those two questions separate entire worlds. A consumer mindset is emotional. It acts fast. It wants pleasure, status, validation. An investor mindset is strategic. It asks for patience. It takes time. It requires sacrifice and discomfort. A poor person will buy a nicer phone. A wealthy person will buy the stock of the company that makes the phone. A poor person will lease a car to look rich. A wealthy person will buy an asset that pays for a car later. It's not that the rich are born smarter. It's that their brain is trained to plant seeds instead of eating them. The third trap. Poor people want quick results. They want shortcuts. They want magic. They want to be millionaires without becoming the person a millionaire has to be. They ask, how do I get rich fast? The wealthy ask, how do I become valuable? Poor people chase money. The rich chase skill. Let that sink in. Money flows to competence. To people who solve problems. To people who know things other people don't. To people who show up when everyone else quits. You can lie, hustle, cheat, gamble, or beg your way to a little money. But you cannot stay wealthy without skill. And that's why the rich keep getting richer. They're constantly improving. They read. They network. They learn. They try. They fail. They adjust. Poor people think someone else is responsible for their income, their boss, the government, luck. Rich people know they are responsible, their mind, their discipline, their decisions. The fourth psychological trap. Poor people look for permission. Wealthy people claim responsibility. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, I can't start a business. No one taught me. What if I fail? My family won't approve. The economy is bad. I'm not ready. They're always waiting. Waiting for a sign. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for someone to save them. And every year, they weight themselves deeper into mediocrity. Meanwhile, wealthy minds think differently. I don't know, but I'll learn. If I fail, I'll adjust. Let me try. Let me test. Let me start. They don't have special confidence. They simply understand this truth. Opportunity never waits. It rewards the one who moves first, asterisk asterisk. The fifth trap is psychological, and it's deadly. Poor people hang around other poor thinkers, asterisk asterisk. Not poor in money. Poor in mindset. People who complain. People who gossip. People who hate success. People who laugh at ambition. People who spend weekends bragging about parties instead of building futures. You cannot grow when the people around you are committed to staying small. It's like planting a seed in cement and praying it becomes a forest. Wealthy minds understand something critical. Your environment is more powerful than your intentions. If everyone around you thinks small, you will think small. If everyone around you fears risk, you will fear risk. If everyone around you settles, you will settle. Surround yourself with ambition, and eventually, ambition becomes normal. Surround yourself with mediocrity, and mediocrity becomes invisible. The sixth psychological trap. Poor people respect money more than time. Rich people respect time more than money, asterisk asterisk. Poor people will drive 45 minutes to save $2. They'll spend 6 hours scrolling TikTok and say they're resting. They'll spend years at a job they hate because they're afraid of losing a paycheck. To them, time is cheap and money is expensive. But the wealthy? They understand the opposite. Money can be earned, lost, recovered, multiplied. Time only gets spent once. You can always get more dollars. You never get more minutes. That is why they outsource tasks. That is why they learn skills that increase income. That is why they buy freedom instead of toys. Because ultimately, wealth isn't about buying things. It's about buying your time back. Now here is the most painful psychological trap of all. Poor people think wealth is external. Rich people know wealth is internal, asterisk asterisk. Poor people think, if I just got a better job. If I just got lucky. If someone helped me. If I had capital. If my circumstances changed. They believe life happens to them, not because of them. The wealthy understand something life-changing. You do not attract money. You become the kind of person money is attracted to. Not by manifesting. Not by affirmations. Not by hoping. Not by praying. By building. Discipline. Skill. Resilience. Value. Competence. Courage. Honor. Confidence. Money flows to people who solve problems others avoid. Money flows to people who take responsibility. Money flows to people who provide value. Money flows to people who are consistent. That is why winners keep winning. Not because life is easier for them, but because they become people who can carry heavy things. So let me ask you a question. Which mindset do you live in? Do you run from discomfort? Do you buy instead of invest? Do you chase shortcuts? Do you wait for someone to save you? Do you sit in circles of mediocrity? Do you trade time for pennies? Do you blame the world instead of building yourself? If the answer is yes, you will stay where you are. But if you choose differently, even once, everything shifts. Wealth is not a result. It is a process. It begins internally. In the smallest decisions. In the quietest habits. In the discipline no one sees. In the sacrifices no one applauds. In the risks no one understands. Money will come and go. But the mindset that creates wealth? That stays forever. You can lose a business. You can lose a job. You can lose investments. You can lose everything. But if you still have discipline, skill, confidence, humility, and resilience, you can rebuild it all, again and again. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for someone to save them. And every year, they wait themselves deeper into mediocrity. Meanwhile, wealthy minds think differently. I don't know, but I'll learn. If I fail, I'll adjust. Let me try. Let me test. Let me start. They don't have special confidence. They simply understand this truth. Opportunity never waits. It rewards the one who moves first, asterisk asterisk. The fifth trap is psychological, and it's deadly. Poor people hang around other poor thinkers, asterisk asterisk. Not poor in money. Poor in mindset. People who complain. People who gossip. People who hate success. People who laugh at ambition. People who spend weekends bragging about parties instead of building futures. You cannot grow when the people around you are committed to staying small. It's like planting a seed in cement and praying it becomes a forest. Wealthy minds understand something critical. Your environment is more powerful than your intentions. If everyone around you thinks small, you will think small. If everyone around you fears risk, you will fear risk. If everyone around you settles, you will settle. Surround yourself with